All right, Coach, first day of spring ball, so how did it go?
I thought it was just okay. I think to be expected. First day, it was with a lot of new people, new transfers, playing new positions, and a new offense and a new defense. But overall, I thought the guys competed well. I thought the defense looked good for their first time to execute and kind of put it all together out there. I thought was pretty good. They had a couple turnovers, 3 or 4 interceptions today. I think offensively it was a little bit slow, but always great film to coach off of. I think once these kids get in the rhythm of this stuff and you take some of the hesitation out of it, that will be just fine. But yeah, all in all, I think for day one, just helmets only, no pads, a good starting point for us.
Yeah, I knew that new look defense is kind of one of the biggest storylines heading into the next season. Just what do you kind of see from Coach Cassidy and all the pieces you kind of see all together?
Yeah, I thought they did a nice job of communicating. I think this is going to be a multiple defense that is going to stress you in different ways. They like the pressure, they like to be aggressive, take away what the offense is good at. I thought they did a nice job disguising some stuff for the quarterbacks today. Caught the quarterbacks off guard on a couple of different things, and the quarterbacks' eyes weren't very good. And so excited about those guys. Excited about them being able to put some pressure on opposing offenses. Coach Cassidy did a phenomenal job the last couple of years of creating negative plays and creating explosive on the defense side, getting takeaways and being game-changing plays. So excited for those guys to install that defense and get it rolling here.
And we're kind of seeing out of guys in the quarterback room, such as Messenbaker and Pockenbugger so far this spring.
Yeah, Drew's just been in it a little bit longer than Reese has. Reese has done a phenomenal job. He's a kid that's up here in the office, pretty much 24/7. So has put the time in the film room. Thought he did a really nice job of operating, and that's one of the biggest challenges in this offensive system is to really operate. They have to do so much pre-snap and get people lined up, tell them what to do, set the front, set the protection, so much verbal communication. So I thought for the first day, just his operation was phenomenal. And then there's going to be a bunch of stuff for us to correct, all the minor details, the footwork that goes into it, the different looks that the defense is going to give us, and, give him, kind of an encyclopedia of different checks to get to once we do it. So but I thought for day one, those two competed really well. I thought Chris Jimerson, for being a young puppy who's, 17, 18 years old, should be going to prom next week. He's out here competing with his guys. Made some really nice plays today. A couple times, we saw him get out of the pocket and take off, and you can see that speed once he gets out in space. So excited about all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, with the new potential starting quarterback this year, just what
potential? How potential? My goodness. I guess you could count. Drew did start the one game, so I guess you could count that.
That's true. So I just wanted to ask you, what do you imagine the biggest differences of your offense could be? You mentioned there's new changes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important, as an offense in this system, that we find what we're good at. We'll find what the quarterback's good at. I think Drew's skill set's a little bit different than Reese and Chris as well. And so always been a big believer that's all about a body of work and what these guys can put together, not only for these next 15 practices, but on into the summer and then into fall camp. So really we have 4 or 5 months to be able to figure out who that guy is. I think Drew, as the bowl game did a ton for his confidence. I think he's a whole different kid than he was a year ago and is out there, playing confidently, which is a huge deal for a quarterback in this system. And so those guys, I think, just to be able to compete against one another, to be able to, stay consistent and, not get too high, not get too low, but to be able to continue to progress through these next 5 months will be huge for us. And, I think today just judging, those 2 guys on day one, really confident in having 2 to 3 quarterbacks that can go out and perform at a high level for us next year.
You guys have a really new look for this team holistically. You got a new defensive staff. You got a new offensive assistant or 2. Some of your off-field guys changed over in the offseason, a whole batch of incoming transfers. Is it just important for this whole thing to kind of meld over the course of spring?
Yeah, I think it's critical for me as the head coach to be able to be in corporate and make sure that we're forming relationships and that we're being intentional about that. And that's a process that's already started for us. And I think, not just for us, but anybody but at the G5 level right now, it's important just knowing that there's going to be attrition, not only from players, but also your staff. I think as you have success in different areas, you're going to have some guys that are picked off and that go and try to progress their career somewhere else. And so that's part of the deal. You know, the one thing that I'm excited about is just getting out on the grass with these guys. I think this is where everybody, their competitive nature, their competitive juices get turned loose out here, and it's fun to watch some of these new guys, the energy that they coach with, that their coaching styles, to see their personalities come out on the grass has been fun. But super excited about the staff we put together, super excited about the squad. I think, you know, top to bottom, holistically, this should be the best roster that we've had since we've been here. And that's, you know, a combination of size and speed, a combination of snaps gained somewhere else. That's something huge for us when we evaluate portal guys now is really looking at these guys played football. And I think there's value in that, even if they're coming from a different place, that they're used to being out there taking reps, you know, in meaningful situations, whether that's Division II, FCS, coming from another group of five, coming from a Power Four. I think snaps gained are a huge thing, and that's one thing we committed to this year. And I think, you know, like Cam Dorner is a perfect example of it, a guy that's been a Division II All-American, and he's come out, you know, in these first couple of weeks and looks like, you know, he belongs here and can be a big-time threat for us in the receiving game. And so, yeah, I think it's fun to watch it all come together. You know, and it's become a norm for us. I think although we do have a lot less attrition than what we did have a year ago, especially when you think about it, where you know, the 7 or 8 guys that came from Sam Houston have already played in this system. So I kind of throw those guys out the window. They're almost further ahead right now than what our actual defensive players are that were here last year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did go through this a little bit last year as a new staff. Does that experience benefit you guys this year as you kind of go through another pretty significant transition with this roster?
Yeah, it better, and that's my job ultimately, is to figure out what we did well last year and then what were some of our shortcomings last year, and all that comes together, right? And some of that's really going back and judging and grading ourselves on the way we handled certain situations in a time of transition. And so, yeah, I think anytime you go through situations, you learn from them, you grow from them, and you find better ways to attack different problems. And you know, we're in the business of solving problems each and every day, and we'll continue to do our best to find the best solutions for the problems that arise.
Coach, you kind of mentioned last season that, you know, and to take about 3 years to sort of really build this program, to have, you know, continuity over the past 3 years. Just what have been the early signs to you that, you know, that the progress is actually putting off everything heading into the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously us being in this conference for 3 years and understanding, you know, what this conference is about, I think that we're in a prime position in year 3 into year 4 that we need to make big steps forward as a program. And, you know, I think us competing for championships is the goal here. And we don't have any excuses, and you know, our resources are good enough to do it. The talent around here is good enough to do it. I feel like our coaching staff is an elite coaching staff that's able to get the message across and get these players to perform at a high level. So super excited about the journey that we're going to embark on. Obviously, you know, the one thing I don't love doing in this, you know, the chair I sit in being a head coach is to be interviewing and replacing people all the time. So it's always so good and brightens my day when I have a chance to get out here on the grass and do what I love to do and coach ball and be around the guys as we start making these efforts to push them through to be the best possible team that we can in 2025.
You mentioned the Sam Houston transfer. Just how have they kind of been as leaders as they kind of got to play under Cassidy and now kind of get to relay his message and what he wants to see for this team?
Yeah, I think, you know, they know what to expect first and foremost from the coaching staff. I think that there was an expectation set at Sam Houston to play a great style of defense, a great brand of defense. They were able to do that successfully. So I think that first and foremost, they believe in the system that they're playing in because of how much success. I mean, their stop rates were phenomenal, you know, in the pretty much top 20 in every category in the nation last year. So I think they believe in it, and then they know the expectation of how practice needs to be, what it looks like every single day. And so I think it's a little bit awkward at times, I think, to come into a new program and take over a leadership role. But I think they're a little bit more primed to do it because they have so much familiarity with the system, and they can help the other guys out as they do it. So those guys have been phenomenal. I mean, I think just of buying into what we're building here culturally. The Sam Houston transfers have been phenomenal. I think, too, you know, Simeon Evans is another one to put in that category, a guy that, you know, was one of their top receivers last year. A big, strong kid from the DFW area, and I think he has a bright future.
You mentioned the quarterbacks and the three that you got here. How do you handle that race as you go into spring?
You know, just like any other one, you know, may the best man win. I think, you know, we do a great job of charting everything. You know, I think that kind of paints a picture black or white for them, and it allows them to see the successes that they're having and the failures that they're having. And so I think it's important too for you know, especially Drew and Reese right now, as Chris continues to develop, that we split the reps evenly between the ones and the twos. And, you know, it's not just like ones with the twos all the time, because I think there's a discrepancy sometimes with the offensive line that's in front of you, with the receivers that you're playing with. And so we try to give them equal reps with the ones and twos right now, and it allow them to be on a progression to really see. And then I think too, being able to get into the scrimmage situations when you're live and you have to be out there by yourself, it's not a scripted situation, and really see those guys make off script plays. And I think that was what was so impressive with Drew in the bowl game, is he practiced so well for almost a year here, you know. And we saw at practice how good he was. He won the starting job, you know, in fall camp. He won the backup job in fall camp last year. Practiced so well in bowl practices, but he was a special situation because he hadn't played since the 9th grade. There's no video evidence of him being able to go out and actually do these things. So to be able to, as a coach, see his competitive nature come out during the course of the game. I mean, the first third down throw he made when he was, you know, staring down the barrel, he got hit so damn hard and delivered an on-time curl to his forward progression. You know, that was kind of the first time I was like, all right, this kid's, he's ready for this. And I think he kind of progressed and was able to showcase that, you know, he's a great passer. He's got a great head on his shoulder, super smart, and he's got some wheels on him. Need to work on his conditioning a little bit after the puking in the trash can, but he's a great athlete.
So you just throw all three of those guys in the hopper and kind of even reps and see how it plays out at this point?
Yeah, I think so. We'll split more Drew and Reese to start this thing. We'll let Reese, just like we do. I mean, we'll let Chris just kind of slowly learn the offense. I mean, this is a lot for him at this time. And then Chris should be ready, I think, by the summer in fall camp to be able to go in here and compete. We'll give him some opportunities during some scrimmage situations to see if he can do it. You know, I mean, Cam Ward was a guy, we had an Incarnate Word, and we had a guy coming back that was a freshman All-American, the starter of our team that took us to a conference championship. And in those, you know, scrimmages as a true freshman, Cam started coming along, and it was pretty evident he was ready to play. And so, you know, everybody's progression's a little bit different. I think Reese brings a really unique skill set, and, you know, really talented arm, but also a really strong athlete. Reminds me a little bit of John Mateer as far as, you know, just having a really strong lower half, being a really good athlete, not afraid to go and run and get some tough yards at times. And so, so all three of them, you know, all have kind of their strengths, and then once we figure out who the guy is, you know, we'll kind of mold the offense to fit into those strengths.
You know, there are any position groups that they could use a little bit more depth with the transfer portal window opening up this mid-April?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little too early to tell right now. I mean, I think our numbers are good. You know, I think our defensive staff did a great job of really focusing and getting some defensive ends here. I mean, defensive end, the body type that we're looking for is a little bit different from the 4 down to the 3 down. So we needed some longer, leaner ends that could really work the edge for us. And so I think they did a nice job of getting us some guys there. You know, running back was a major concern, just depth-wise throughout the course of the season. Did a great job of getting some guys in that spot, and got some guys back healthy right now. And then got a guy in coming in, Hawkins from Oklahoma, a guy that, you know, I think could have potentially a chance to be ready to play this year. Receiver were good. O-line, depth-wise, you know, it's as deep as we've ever been during the course of the spring. We have 16 scholarship guys out there right now, so excited about that. So, right now, you know, I don't think so, but that could change, obviously, through the course of the spring as we see these guys develop and see kind of what we can build depth-wise.
You lost Owens to Texas State, you know, who was one of your original guys. How do you guys go about replacing that? Or
Yeah, we're in the process, just like any other thing. I think you go through an interview process. You know, I think you're looking for a certain skill set in that role. And, you know, he's a guy that came here, worked hard, and got a promotion, and has always wanted to be a general manager. So he's got his opportunity after coming here and working hard and proving that he could take the next step. And so, you know, I think just like I do in anything when hiring people, first and foremost, it's about getting good people in here that fit into what we're trying to do. on a day-to-day basis. And so I take hiring very seriously, and I think it's something that you vet the process and you kind of have the skill sets that you're looking for. And there's plenty of guys out there that will be able to come and accomplish that job for us.
Obviously, assuming he was out with the injury last year, do you have an idea if he's going to be back this year?
Yeah. Should right now is on a timetable to get back after an ACL tear last year. And so, we're able to get that fixed before the season last year. And so just the thought process will be able to slowly bring him back and hopefully have him repped up full go by the summer.
Of course, you get it in the spring here. I'm sure there were some guys that had some dings after last season. Is there anybody that's going to be limited, or you going to hold out for spring at this point?
No, we have a couple guys. Colin Lewis is a guy that had an off-season procedure that won't be full go. He's out there doing some stuff right now, but won't be full go until the end of this spring. Isaac Sohn's a guy that's coming off an injury as well that won't be full go until after the spring. Demaje Harris is already back, and so we've gotten pretty much everybody back, so in a pretty healthy spot right now.
All right, glad. Anyway, and so how did the first day of practice go?
It was good. Everybody's just, get back into it. So it was a little tough, a little out of shape, but like I said, that's expected first day, but keep working, get back into it.
I'm sorry.
You're one of those receivers in the been in the program the longest so far. Just what do you kind of imagine for yourself this year, and just what kind of leadership role do you take heading into spring?
Yeah, one of my mentors, always been my mentor since I've been here. Damon Ward, he was here last year. Just gonna have his pro day come up soon. I just look up to him and just try to be like him as much as possible. Like I always went up to him asking questions. Wanted to watch film, wanted to get extra work. So just hopefully wanted to take that role for the younger guys. If any guys need anything, just be there for them.
Look to a new look roster this year. You lost, your entire defensive coaching staff's new. You got a new assistant on the offensive line. Your recruiting guys got a lot of new players. How's this all kind of coming together, and will that be important over the course of the spring?
Yeah. It'll be super important, and I think now, even with all these new guys, new coaches, and everything, we're still super close. We're still coming together, getting to know the guys even better, and I think everything will be good. I think we'll, through the spring, through the summer and fall and everything before season starts, we'll be just as close as a team as ever.
Does the experience of having gone through something similar last year with the new staff help you guys as you go down a similar road this year?
Yes, 100%. It helps us, like I said, since we've already been through it, it helps us know what to expect, what's to come, and just, prepare for it best to win games in the season.
Just looking back at spring ball last year, what would you kind of say is the biggest difference from last year to this year?
Definitely, I feel like there's more competitiveness. Like a lot of the new guys are coming in and they feel like they need to prove something, and that's always good. You always want competitiveness. You always want that competitive nature because it just makes guys better, and then ultimately make a whole team better.
We were talking about the receiver room holistic all together, and then thoughts on the new additions found there as well.
Yeah, I think our receiver room was amazing last year, and we lost a couple guys. We lost D Ward and Blair and all them, but I think with some of the new guys coming in and everything, I think we'll pick up right back where we started.
This type of kind of stands out to you that you think fans should kind of know about or keep an eye out. Doesn't have to be someone.
Yeah. I think new, definitely Cam Dorner. He's the outside Z on the other side, and he's just been showing out and been doing his thing, and I think he's going to be a great receiver, a great addition.
What have you kind of seen from Reese Poppenbarger early on during this spring?
Yeah, I think he has an amazing work ethic, one of the best work ethics I've ever seen. Always in the film room, always asking us to come through, always doing that extra work, and I think he will. I think he'll definitely thrive for sure.
Yeah, because you have an entirely new quarterback group, really, those three guys. How have those three guys, kind of stepped in and helped you guys kind of reset or let into a new season?
I think, like I said, I think they work their tails off. They're some, like I said, the hardest working quarterbacks I've ever seen. They're always just getting extra reps, extra film, and everything. And like I said before, competitiveness. They're going to compete with each other, trying to get that starting job during the season. And like I said, I think that'll bring the best of what's to come for the whole team.
You confident that you'll be able to pull a guy from that trio and be as successful as you were last year offensively?
Do what, Sadie?
You think you'll be as successful as you were last year offensively with one of those new guys stepping in?
100%. Like I think we'll pick up where we left off and be even better. 100%.
Just looking back at last year, I mean, what was kind of like for you to be able to have your best game in the bowl game after, kind of dealing with injuries throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, it felt so good to finally actually get back there, feel healthy, feel good and everything, get rolling, just doing what I know I can do, and finally being able to show it,
And we imagine for your kind of bowl this season, just on the field as well. And is there any goals you have to see with well?
Yes, for sure. Want to hit 1,000 yards for sure this season. Just show out, and just main goal, just stepping up in a leader position and helping these guys thrive, helping the team thrive, and like I said, just having a really successful season. Hopefully, I'm wanting to have at least 10 wins this season for sure. Go to the championship.
And you think that's a goal that's within reach with what you guys have?
100%. Our main goal, our first meeting this morning, our main goal is to be the number one offense in the country. And I truly believe with our players and our staff and everything right now, we can become the number one offense in the country and the number one offense in the American, number one team in the American.
In that meeting, who set that goal out for you guys going to be, assistant coach office?
Coach Morris.
Coach Morris.
Oh, yeah. Said it. 100%.
Up to that big lofty goal for you guys. How do you feel about it?
I think we could do it. We've been number 3 last year before, number 3 and 4, alternating, what's to stop us from becoming number 1, high productive offense. We're going to run the ball. We're going to throw the ball, everything. We can, I feel like we could for sure do it.
Team number 1 offense in the
nation. Oh, yeah.
Wait, so far to go. I mean, you've been up there.
Exactly. We've been number 3 and 4. What's those next 2?
All right, June, so how'd the first day go?
Pretty smooth, man. We just trying to get it going. Good group of guys, good defensive staff. I feel like good.
Well, you mentioned the new staff. I mean, it's a whole clean sweep, new batch of guys. So, I mean, how's the process going of adjusting to this?
I mean, usually it's like super tough to adjust to like a whole new staff, but I mean, I feel like me and the guys, just the dudes alone, have great chemistry together already. And the coaching staff, the defensive staff has been great to us too. So it's been easy to adjust.
How's it kind of been learning Skylar Cassidy's defensive scheme, and what do you kind of think makes it unique?
Man, it's pretty easy actually. I mean, picked it up fast. The guys that were here last year, we're back in the 4 down, which I really like. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, some of the guys that signed to come in here kind of said that it's more of a simple system.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be different for you guys? It seemed like last year that you kind of had some pre-snap reads, post-snap reads, everything was a little bit complex.
Yeah.
Is this simpler than last year, and will that help?
Yeah, definitely simpler, and in a way that helps us just play faster, So out of everything, it just helps us play fast.
How do those transfers from St. Houston kind of help you guys kind of progress and fit into music?
What was that?
How do the guys from St. Houston kind of help you guys, progress and transfer? I mean,
oh man, everybody's open ears, ready to lend a hand to us. A lot of guys on the D line. We got Richard, Howland, Quincy Wright. Those guys have been a big thing for us. Just adapting to the defense. Yeah, it's been great.
You mentioned some of those new guys. It seems like you guys are going through another really big transition 10th into your second year. Last year, you went through the whole deal of having an entire new staff.
Yeah.
Now, this year, you're kind of going through the same thing again. You got a whole new batch of transfers. You got a whole new defensive staff, some of your off-field staff change. Does it feel that way that you're going through another, kind of transition?
I mean, man, I've been here a long time. This is my 5th rodeo here, so... it's nothing new. We just pick up and adjust. So, I mean, I kind of got used to it. So, yeah.
Well, I guess that's the point. I mean, does the experience of having done this before help you guys as you go through something similar?
Of course. Yeah. Definitely going through this, a couple times has definitely, helped me, pick up things faster. So, yeah.
Is the chemistry with the team holistically coming together as you guys progress into the spring?
Yeah, that was something I was really, nervous about coming in. I'm like, a whole bunch of new faces, new guys, new staff. But, really, as a whole, I think, we're going to pick this stuff up pretty fast together.
What makes you feel that way?
I just feel like when we're all out there together, it's just I feel okay. I play off you, you play off of me, stuff like that.
What are your thoughts about the D-line room ending this year? Who's kind of stood out to you so far?
Man, the guys, we got a lot of new guys, a whole bunch of new guys. So it's been cool to, get to know all these dudes. But guys that stand out, really, Braylo. He's one of the returners. Like I said, Richard and Quincy, two guys I think are really great ball players. Ethan, really a lot of guys I think I expect a lot out of this year. So yeah.
How excited are you about going to a format? I know as a defensive lineman, most defensive linemen really like playing in a format because you make you more of a playmaker, not just a hold the line kind of guy. Are you enjoying the transition back to playing in a format?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been like maybe two or three seasons. So yeah, it's good being back to Florida.
Who are some of those emerging leaders in the locker room that you notice, and how are they kind of going to kind of lead to success this year?
I mean, really, it's a whole lot of new faces. I think QB from Miami is definitely like starting to play a role in the locker room. Me and Braylon Charles been trying to, as older guys, was trying to lead guys together. So yeah.
Do you have any personal or team goals you kind of want to hit before the end of spring, or just going into the 2025 season?
Man, I just really want to get this thing going. Like, make sure like we're confident in how we play and confident just going out there and just know we're prepared to go and win. So yeah.
You got all those guys came over from Sam Houston that played in that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help you with the transition, and those guys kind of stepped into a leadership role?
Yeah,
showing how this all works.
Yeah, linebacker Trey, and like I said, Quincy and Richard Howling. The main guys for me personally that's been really making stuff easier. So yeah.
What have they done to make things easier?
It's just like there are people you can go and just ask questions. Like I can go bother them and it will never be an issue. Like if I'm confused about something like on or off the field, like I'm, hey, how about this? Like, what do you think about this? They're all open here. So yeah, it's great to have guys like that.
I know you're on the defensive side of the ball, but the quarterback race is going to be a big storyline here. And you face those guys, on a day-to-day basis. How confident are you that your guys are going to be able to pull one of those three guys out of there and be successful?
Man, I'm really liking after today, just seeing all three guys. Really, all of them really is I really like how the QB room is looking. Quarterback from Miami, I like him a lot. He's really good today. Drew, young gun, both young guns. So yeah, I'm excited to see how stuff goes like throughout the spring, heading to the season.
But wishful.
Thanks, yours. I think
I'm ready.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.